Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about a dual nature of electromagnetic radiation. Before going to the dual nature of electromagnetic radiation, which is a topic of class 11 actually, so we need to know about certain developments which led Bohr to decide to propose a model of an atom. For that, if you consider all about the previous studies like Madame Marie Curie studies or Röntgen studies or Rutherford studies, we can clearly say that atom has certain amount of radiation possessed in it which can emit after a certain period of time during its motion, okay, or it may be in a motion or it may be in a stationary state. So using that all properties, Bohr said that in order to know a complete character of an atom, we need to know about two important properties. One is the dual nature of electromagnetic radiation, dual nature of electromagnetic radiation, and second one is the experimental studies which agreed upon the electrical and magnetic field radiation released. That is experimental agreement of readings which shown that electrical and magnetic field do exhibit radiations present in them. So using that particular concept, he proposed a new model of a theory, new model of an atom called Bohr's model of an atom. So before going directly to the Bohr's model of an atom, let us discuss more about this dual nature of electromagnetic radiation and some experimental agreements which he explained. So for dual nature of matter, that is a wave nature and a particle nature, we will first discuss about the wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. So the wave nature of electromagnetic radiation was explained by a scientist named James Maxwell. Wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. So the scientist's name was James Maxwell. So in the year 1870, he was the first one to explain about the charge present of an atom, and he was first about to explain the relation between charge of an atom and the attraction of quantities like other positive or negative charges and their motion around those with the value of Q1 Q2 by R formula. Q1 Q2 by R formula. So using that formula, explained the relation of electron charges and their magnetic properties and several other properties. So what he did was, he came to a consideration, if an atom is accelerated in a particular amount of acceleration, if an atom is accelerated, it was found, let us say this is an atom, if this atom is accelerated in a particular direction, this atom was found to produce and transmit two radiations. One is electrical radiation, and the other one was magnetic radiation. If an atom is accelerated in an alternating accelerated power, they found to produce electrical and magnetic radiations which can later transmitted. So on combining those two, he said that these might be called as electromagnetic waves or also known as electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic waves, or electromagnetic radiations. So this was how we explained the wave nature of matter. So the wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. He said that electromagnetic waves or electromagnetic radiation was found to have two branches in it. One was because of electrical radiation and one was because of magnetic radiation. And if you consider this atom being oscillating in a particular length, so let us say it is oscillating in a particular speed or momentum or acceleration. So he used furthermore theories explained by several other scientists and came to know that as the light which is found on Earth since earlier ancient times, which was explained further by Newton and corpuscles, which are also having a wave nature, was useful for learning more about the electromagnetic waves nature. So the nature of electromagnetic waves was easier to understand by comparing them with the light waves which was supposed to be found out by Newton and corpuscles. So therefore, Using those all theories and his own studies, he proposed 4 points to explain the wave nature of an electromagnetic radiation. Using his studies and the earlier studies by other scientists, he proposed 4 points which can explain the electromagnetic waves wave nature. Those points are: first one, if you consider an oscillating particle or oscillating particle, as he said, there are 2 types of radiation found. So if this is the particle oscillating, and it is oscillating in this direction, let us say x-axis. If this is oscillating in this direction of x-axis, he said that electromagnetic radiation, that is which has 2 branches, one is electrical and magnetical radiation, was found to be oscillating again. They were internally oscillating with themselves. If I write electrical signals in yellow line, so these are oscillating like this in plane, then the magnetic radiation was oscillating perpendicular to the electrical oscillation, such as like this. So this is hard to understand that. For that, consider this. So if you consider this direction as what I am taking here, x-axis. So if I am turning it towards you, so what happens is there are 2 radiation, one which is oscillating in this plane, one which is oscillating in this perpendicular plane. Okay, so if I write its radiation, what happens is one is oscillating in this direction, the other one is oscillating in this direction. One is moving above and below, one is moving forward and backward. So the blue one which I have written is moving forward and backward, oscillating in forward backward motion, and the one which I have written in yellow is oscillating in upward and downward direction. So these 2, which are perpendicular to each other, was found to be perpendicular to the direction of oscillating atom. So if you consider this as direction of oscillating atom, this will be our z-axis and this will be our y-axis. So clearly, as we know, x, y, z coordinates are mutually perpendicular. So therefore, the radiations which are oscillating because of oscillation of atom was found to be perpendicular to one another, and further they are perpendicular to the oscillation of direction of particle or atom. So this was the first point which he explained. So that is, when an atom or particle is said to oscillate in a particular acceleration, it emits or transmits 2 radiations present in them, which are called as electrical and magnetical oscillation, where electrical oscillation, if it is moving up down, magnetic oscillation will be moving forward and backward, which says that these 2 are perpendicular to one another. Further, those 2 mutually perpendicular to the direction of oscillation of the particle. Okay, so this is about the first point. Next, for the second point, unlike for sound waves or light waves, that is, sound waves or light waves need a medium for its movement. So sound waves or light waves move or oscillate only when there is a presence of some medium, but in the absence of medium they won't be observed to oscillate. But when we consider the electromagnetic radiation, they were found to have a motion. The electromagnetic radiation was found to have a waves. These electromagnetic waves are found to have motion even in vacuum. That is, in the absence of any medium, we observed that electromagnetic radiation had some motion present in it. So using that all stuffs, he put up the third point, which explained this frequency or wave number of that particular electromagnetic radiation. That is, if you consider this wave, then it has certain wavelength and certain wave number. So then what is a wavelength or a frequency? What is a wavelength and a frequency? So wavelength is a distance between one crest and the other crest. If you consider this as a 2 peak points, so the length between these 2 peak points is called the wavelength, denoted by lambda. So remember the term wavelength. wavelength is the distance between two crests. So the upperly motion or the motion of oscillation in the up direction are considered as crests, and those at the bottom are called troughs. So wavelength is the distance between two crests or two troughs. So distance between two crests or two troughs is called wavelength, and frequency is said to as the time at which this wavelength moves through a point. Okay, so if it is oscillating in a fast direction, it has more frequency. That means if it has more number of crests and more number of wavelength, which has more number of crests, it has lesser wavelength. Let us for example say, if this is a wave of, let us say, wavelength lambda 1, consider a smaller wavelength of this type, smaller wave of this type, which is spread in the equivalent distance of this. So if you consider over here, the number of waves for this wavelength or this wave is less. That is, a wave is something which has a crest and a trough. So this particular point from this to here is called one wave. So frequency is something which has more number of, the frequency is defined as the number of waves per unit length, the number of waves per unit length. So if this is the wave, so if it has, if you consider over here, it has 2.5 wave. Okay, it has 2.5 wave per one length, unit length. If you consider this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it has 9 waves per unit length. So frequency is said to as number of waves per unit length, whereas wavelength is said as distance between a crest to crest with a difference of two crests. Okay, so now if you consider wavelength and frequency, if you have understood wavelength and frequency, then the third point which he explained was this electromagnetic radiations. The third point in James Maxwell explained is the electromagnetic radiation which was found to have two magnetic and electrical radiations was spread across a longer length of electromagnetic radiation. It has several different parts in it, and those parts were cut off into different sections depending upon their wavelength or frequency range. That means this electromagnetic radiation was cut into sections with respect to the range of electromagnetic frequency or wavelength. So that frequency or wavelength which we consider them as from radio waves to microwaves or gamma rays. From radio waves to gamma rays, which comes with microwaves, infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, visible radiation and something like that. So we have multiple sections of electromagnetic radiation which varies with respect to their frequency or wavelength. So this was the third point which Maxwell explained. We'll look into this more later. And the fourth point which he explained was each of these electromagnetic radiation can be explained in terms of different SI units. Usually they are termed in terms of hertz for frequency and per meter, and meter for wavelength, hertz for frequency and meters for wavelength. Those are the SI units for frequency and wavelength. Since the wavelength has very smaller values, they are also considered as nanometer values or angstroms. They are also termed in SI units as nanometers or angstroms, that is nothing but 10 power minus 9 meter or 10 power minus 10 meters. So this is about the fourth point. So this is all about James Maxwell's explanation about the electromagnetic radiation formed by oscillating particle, which results in the transmission of electromagnetic radiations. Okay. Next, what he said was, now since the radiation which was explained by Maxwell has some 10 components present in it, that are wavelength and frequency. Wavelength is a length term, so it has to be given by the SI unit. SI unit of wavelength should be meters. Since the SI unit value of is meters and wavelength is a very small wavelength component of a light or electromagnetic radiation, it was given as nanometer or angstroms, as I said before. Now for the frequency we gave it as a term or SI unit as hertz after its scientist who discovered it. That is also said in the SI unit of per second in respect to time. So now wavelength is denoted by the symbol lambda and frequency is denoted by the symbol V. This is denoted by frequency denoted by V. Now if you observe for the second point which Maxwell said, in that point he said that when compared to sound waves and light waves needed medium for traveling, whereas electromagnetic radiation did not need any medium for their travel. So which is clear that electromagnetic radiation can travel in the vacuum. And further we note that speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Speed of light, which is denoted by the symbol C, is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. And this electromagnetic radiation which was discovered was also found to move or travel in the same speed as of light in vacuum. So therefore, he gave a relation in order to explain frequency and wavelength in terms of speed of light. That relation was given as C is equal to lambda into V. C is equal to lambda into V, where C is the speed of light, lambda is the wavelength, and V is the frequency. And there was one more term in order to explain the concept of wavelength, which was known as wave number. Wave number denoted by the symbol V bar. So this wave number is equal to 1 by lambda. Wave number V bar is equal to 1 by lambda. So using all those constant values of lambda, V and etc., electromagnetic radiation was clearly classified into these different types with respect to their frequency, or also you can consider it with respect to their wavelength. So if you start for frequency or higher frequency, the highest frequency of a radiation is found to be 10 power minus 24, which is for gamma rays. It ranges between 10 power 24 to 10 power 19 hertz. So gamma rays frequency range is 10 power 19 hertz to 10 power 24, whereas of X-ray is 10 power 17 to 10 power 19, and of UV that is 10 power 5 to 10 power 15 to 10 power 16. And in between IR and UV we have a minute range of visible region which is only visible for us. It is the only region which is visible for human naked eye, and all the other requires some certain experimental setups in order to observe. So the only region which is visible to human naked eye is visible region, which has 7 colors of rainbow, which we all know. Those are VIBGYOR: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So it ranges from the wavelength of 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer. So after visible region we have IR region ranging between 10 power 15 to 10 power 9, and later we have 10 power 7 to 10 power 9 region of microwave, and then radio waves. These radio waves are of two types, AM radio waves and FM radio waves, and then we have the shortest frequency, those are long range radio waves. So this is the complete sectional diagram of electromagnetic radiation, or the different sections of electromagnetic radiation as explained by Maxwell. So this is all about the wave nature of electromagnetic radiation, which was explained by Maxwell. Next we'll discuss about particle nature of electromagnetic radiation, which was discovered by different scientists in the next video. If you have understood what I have explained today, please do subscribe to my channel and share this video among your friends. And if you have any doubts, please do comment down below. Thank you for watching.